Welcome back to investingnews.com. We're once again speaking with Fergus Kiley from Mount Hope Mining. Welcome back, Fergus.
G'day, John. How's it going?
Very well, thank you. So first of all, how did the results from the initial drilling program, along with this historical data, develop the plan for stage 2?
Yeah, look, we were absolutely thrilled with the drill results from our first program. It's allowed us to come out and launch straight into a phase 2 drilling program. We had a headline result of 19 meters at 4.5 grams from 39 meters, which was about as much as we could have hoped for from that program. So that was awesome. We're then looking at tying in our recent drilling results with the historic results that was sort of sitting in and around some of the old drilling that was done across the project. We had historic results from 46 meters at 3.18 grams and 10 meters from 12 grams at surface. So there's some really strong high grade drill hole hits, both from our drilling and historic in and around the Mount Solitary gold prospect. And that has really allowed us to develop a very robust geological model that we're currently out testing with this phase 2 program. And principally, we sort of through some work in the Londonderry core facility and reviewing our data, we think we've got a different structural orientation, a different structural model to Mount Solitary, where we believe that the system has a sort of northwesterly plunge and possibly stacked lodes into the southeast. And that's really what we're out testing with this stage 2 drill program, which is going on literally as we speak. As you can see, John, I'm out at camp right now. And just come back from the drill rig and I'll be shooting back out there straight after this call.
Very interesting one for investors. You recently visited the New South Wales Core Library. What were the key outcomes?
Yeah, look, I just mentioned in the previous answer that was a really formative trip for us. We went down there. We were down there for a week. The crew at the Londonderry core facility were amazing at facilitating our visit. Essentially, what we did was we went down there. We found that there were 12 historic drill holes that had been drilled into Mount Solitary, or 8 into Mount Solitary and 2 into another project of ours south at Mount Solar. And so we were able to go back and relog all of these diamond drill holes. These were holes that were drilled in the 80s and 90s by predecessor companies that owned the project. And the really formative part about that exercise was we were able to take their model, their structural understanding, and walk through chronologically and systematically through their work to understand and sort of arrive to the conclusions that they came to. And out of that body of work, that's where we've sort of determined that we think that this system is an overlooked gold system that has a really high structural component to it. And along those lines, that's how we've developed this northwesterly plunge model that we're testing in this particular program. So yeah, that was a really important piece or a really important finding for us to find those 8 drill holes and have the core facility there for us to go and relog those holes. It really increased our geological knowledge and therefore, you know, has really contributed strongly to this new model that we've developed.
Now, we're always looking for milestones. What would be required to move the prospect into, say, a resource definition phase?
Yeah, it's another really good question. We're very much on the path of doing that as we speak, John. The current drill program that we're on now will provide additional details and results for the resource. So that will be a massive contributor. As I said, we found the historic drill holes that were at the Londonderry core facility. We're able to use components of that data to support the resource that we're developing as well. And so really from a resource modeling position, depending on the results of this program, of course, if we continue to find more gold, then we'll continue to advance the mineral and the mineralized envelope, you know, in that direction. But we'll be hot on the heels of a resource early in the new year. So yeah, we think this program, possibly a small one after, would be what's required to get us to that mineral resource level in the first half of next year.
So now we know these plans going forward, Fergus. Could you take investors through some of the recent discoveries in the district?
Yeah, of course. Look, Cobar is it's an incredible jurisdiction. It's seriously endowed with some very amazing deposits, particularly high grade deposits. That sort of seems to be the flavour of the rocks out here. You can see, only a week or so ago, the Australian Gold and Copper team they delivered an amazing resource that they've been working on for the Achilles deposit there. That's about sort of 40 or 50 Ks away from us in the same or very similar rocks. That's a structurally controlled, very high grade silver and gold deposit with base metals. Of course, to our north, we had the Federation discovery, which again was a base metal, lead, zinc, silver with a very high grade gold component in the deposit. But importantly, those two deposits, as along with many of the other deposits in Cobar, and certainly our Mount Solitary evolving mineral deposit here, is that these are all structurally hosted, structurally controlled. There's a really strong component of structure which controls where the mineralization pools and forms, and that structure helps to allow up permeability and porosity in the rock for fluid to move through. And so we've taken a lot of learnings, which is the advantage of working in somewhere like Cobar, where you've had a really long history of mining, exploration, discovery, success, and operations. And so we're able to really leverage a lot of that good work that's done by other companies around the district into some of the learnings that we're taking on to evolve our own Mount Solitary prospect and our broader Mount Hope sort of exploration project.
Now, following the recent raise, how has this changed the valuation proposition compared with listed peers?
Yeah, look, John, I think we are criminally undervalued. Of course, that's my prerogative as the CEO to say, but let me sort of lay out a bit of a value proposition for you and some of your listeners here. We had an incredible success with our maiden drill program. I mentioned before we drilled 19 meters at 4.5 grams was our headline hole from that drill program. And off the back of that, we were able to execute a small placement where we raised $1.2 million to re-pad the treasury. So as a company, we've got a market cap of $7.3 million today, and we're sitting on $4 million of cash. So that's an enterprise value of $3.3 million, $4 million cash in the bank. We have an active drill program going on right now, and you're buying the company at the same enterprise value as the pre-gold drill hole hit confirmation of high-grade gold drilling that we did in September. So I just think that's a really compelling valuation case for investors to look at. You get Mount Hope Mining with a greater knowledge base than the pre-September drilling, with a greater cash balance base and the same enterprise value. If that's not compelling enough, drilling a high-grade gold project in this rocking gold market, then I'm not really sure what else is.
Finally, Fergus, what are the key catalysts for the next 6 months?
Yeah, look, we've got an action-packed 6 months. As I said, John, we have an active drill program going on right now. Like, I am literally going back to the rig after this. So we'll have drilling results from this program. We've got the resource on the horizon, which we mentioned earlier on the call, and that's just looking at Mount Solitary. We've got our entire Mount Hope portfolio, where we've got other active exploration projects that we've been advancing, that we've had drill programs on, that we will continue to drill in the new year. So, we are going to have a really action-packed first 6 months of the year. It's going to be plenty of catalysts for our investors to watch and keep a hold of. And yeah, look, we're not slowing down by any means. Our first year of trading was exceptionally busy, and our second year looks to be even more busy than our first. So we're pretty excited.
Thank you very much, Fergus, for updating investors today. There's a lot going on. We look forward to 2026 and speaking with you again soon.
Yeah, thanks again for your time, John. It's always a pleasure to catch up, and talk to you and your listeners about Mount Hope. It's going to be a pretty exciting next 6 months, and I'm looking forward to keeping you all updated.